أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
And mention, O Muhammad, when your Lord said to the angels, "Indeed, I will make upon the earth a successive authority." They said, "Will you place upon it one who causes corruption therein and sheds blood, while we declare your praise and sanctify you?" Allah said, "Indeed, I know that which you do not know." Indeed, the example of Jesus to Allah is like that of Adam. He created him from dust, then he said to him, "Be," and he was. O mankind, fear your Lord, who created you from one soul and created from it its mate and dispersed from both of them many men and women. And fear Allah, through whom you ask one another, and the wombs. Indeed, Allah is ever over you, an observer. And if a woman fears from her husband contempt or evasion, there is no sin upon them if they make terms of settlement between them, and settlement is best. And present in human souls is stinginess. But if you do good and fear Allah, then indeed Allah is ever, with what you do, acquainted. It is He who created you from clay and then decreed a term and a specified time known to Him. Then still you are in dispute. It is He who produced you from one soul and gave you a place of dwelling and of storage. We have detailed the signs for a people who understand. Allah said, "What prevented you from prostrating when I commanded you?" Satan said, "I am better than him. You created me from fire and created him from clay." It is He who created you from one soul and created from it its mate, that he might dwell in security with her. And when he covers her, she carries a light burden and continues therein. And when it becomes heavy, they both invoke Allah, their Lord. "If you should give us a good child, we will surely be among the grateful." Indeed, the worst of living creatures in the sight of Allah are the deaf and dumb who do not use reason. Indeed, the worst of living creatures in the sight of Allah are those who have disbelieved, and they will not ever believe. To Him is your return altogether. It is the promise of Allah which is truth. Indeed, He begins the process of creation and then repeats it, that He may reward those who have believed and done righteous deeds in justice. But those who disbelieved will have a drink of scalding water and a painful punishment for what they used to deny. And to Thamud we sent their brother Salih. He said, "O my people, worship Allah, you have no deity other than Him. He has produced you from the earth and settled you in it. So ask forgiveness of Him and then repent to Him. Indeed, my Lord is near and responsive." And we did certainly create man out of clay from an altered black mud. And mention, O Muhammad, when your Lord said to the angels, "I will create a human being out of clay from an altered black mud." He said, "Never would I prostrate to a human whom you created out of clay from an altered black mud." He created man from a sperm drop, then at once he is a clear adversary. And Allah has made for you from yourselves mates, and has made for you from your mates sons and grandchildren, and has provided for you from the good things. Then in falsehood do they believe, and in the favor of Allah they disbelieve? And mention when we said to the angels, "Prostrate to Adam," and they prostrated, except for Iblis. He said, "Should I prostrate to one you created from clay?" His companion said to him while he was conversing with him, "Have you disbelieved in He who created you from dust and then from a sperm drop and then proportioned you as a man? O people, if you should be in doubt about the resurrection, then consider that indeed we created you from dust, then from a sperm drop, then from a clinging clot, and then from a lump of flesh, formed and unformed, that we may show you. And we settle in the wombs whom we will for a specified term. Then we bring you out as a child, and then we develop you that you may reach your time of maturity. And among you is he who is taken in early death, and among you is he who is returned to the most decrepit old age, so that he knows, after once having knowledge, nothing. And you see the earth barren, but when we send down upon it rain, it quivers and swells and grows something of every beautiful kind. And certainly did we create man from an extract of clay, and we placed him as a sperm drop in a firm lodging. And of his signs is that he created you from dust. Then suddenly you were human beings dispersing throughout the earth. And of his signs is that he created for you from yourselves mates that you may find tranquility in them. And he placed between you affection and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs for a people who give thought. And of his signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the diversity of your languages and your colors. Indeed, in that are signs for those of knowledge, who perfected everything which he created, and began the creation of man from clay. And Allah created you from dust, then from a sperm drop, then he made you mates. And no female conceives, nor does she give birth except with his knowledge. And no aged person is granted additional life, nor is his lifespan lessened, but that it is in a register. Indeed, that for Allah is easy. And among people and moving creatures and grazing livestock are various colors similarly. Only those fear Allah from among his servants who have knowledge. Indeed, Allah is exalted in might and forgiving. And if we willed, we could have deformed them, paralyzing them in their places, so they would not be able to proceed, nor could they return. Does man not consider that we created him from a mere sperm drop? Then at once he is a clear adversary. Then inquire of them, O Muhammad, are they a stronger or more difficult creation, or those others we have created? Indeed, we created men from sticky clay. So mention when your Lord said to the angels, Indeed, I am going to create a human being from clay. He said, I am better than him. You created me from fire and created him from clay. He created you from one soul. Then he made from it its mate, and he produced for you from the grazing livestock 8 mates. He creates you in the wombs of your mothers, creation after creation, within 3 darknesses. That is Allah, your Lord. To him belongs dominion. There is no deity except him, so how are you averted? The creation of the heavens and earth is greater than the creation of mankind, but most of the people do not know. It is he who created you from dust, then from a sperm drop, then from a clinging clot. Then he brings you out as a child, then he develops you that you reach your time of maturity, then further that you become elders. And among you is he who is taken in death before that, so that you reach a specified term, and perhaps you will use reason. He is creator of the heavens and the earth. He has made for you from yourselves mates, and among the cattle mates. He multiplies you thereby. There is nothing like unto him, and he is the hearing, the seeing. O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female, and made you peoples and tribes that you may know one another. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. Indeed, Allah is knowing and acquainted. Those who avoid the major sins and immoralities, only committing slight ones. Indeed, your Lord is vast in forgiveness. He was most knowing of you when He produced you from the earth, and when you were fetuses in the wombs of your mothers. So do not claim yourselves to be pure. He is most knowing of who fears Him. From a sperm drop when it is emitted, He created man from clay like that of pottery. O company of jinn and mankind, if you are able to pass beyond the regions of the heavens and the earth, then pass. You will not pass except by authority from Allah. Indeed, mankind was created anxious, while He has created you in stages, and Allah has caused you to grow from the earth a progressive growth. Had He not been a sperm from semen emitted? Indeed, we created man from a sperm drop mixture, that we may try him, and we made him hearing and seeing. And we created you in pairs. From a sperm drop He created him, and destined for him. Was created from a fluid, ejected, and inspired it with discernment of its wickedness and its righteousness. And by He who created the male and female, we have certainly created man in the best of stature, created man from a clinging substance.